Hi students, now in today's class I am going to discuss some more problems regarding center of mass to understand the concept of center of mass. Okay, what is a center of mass? It is a point where the entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated at a point. Okay, if external force acts at that point, center of mass undergoes pure translatory motion and you try to understand these questions. Suppose there is a halo sphere. It is filled with halo sphere. It is filled with water. It is filled with water. Suppose it has a small hole at its center. Okay? Small hole at its center. Now, the center of mass where the center of mass, how shift center of mass in this halo sphere? Let us try to understand. So initially this halo sphere is completely filled with center of mass, completely filled with the water. So its center of mass is at its center. So center of mass lies at its center of mass. Now initially at A, okay? At center, let it be C, let it be C, let it be O, center of mass, center of the sphere initially, when it is completely filled with water. Now, you made a small hole at its bottom. So what happens? Water leaks through this hollow sphere. As water goes on, level of the water gradually decreases. Level of the water gradually decreases. As level of the water gradually decreases, so the mass will be more at the bottom end. As mass will be more, center of mass shift downwards. Center of mass shift downwards because center of mass lies nearer to heavier mass. If half is filled with water, remaining half is empty, center of mass of the whole system, that is this sphere, lies, it shift below, bottom to the, it shift below. Now, as the water leaks out gradually, as the water leaks out through this hole, when this water comes out through the hole completely, then this again center of mass shift to rises up and it again reaches to center. So center of mass, what happens? Center of mass, what happens? How? Otherwise I will ask the question like this. How center of mass COM of the halo sphere filled with water, water leaks through a hole, okay? How center of mass of the halo sphere filled with water changes when water leaks through the hole. When water leaks through a hole, okay? How center of mass of the sphere filled with water changes when water leaks through a hole? So that is the question. So what is the answer? Initially center of mass, initially COM, that is completely filled. Center of mass, initially center of mass is at its center. As water leaks out, as water leaks is COM shifts. How it will shifts? It shifts down. It shifts down. Center of mass shift down and shift down. Shifts down, and as water completely leaks when sphere is empty, when sphere is empty, again COM shifts to horizontal position, shifts to horizontal position. Okay, clear? What I am writing is clear? Okay, see, as initially center of mass is at its center, as water leaks through this hollow sphere, center of mass shifts downwards, and as the sphere is empty and the sphere is when sphere is empty, again center of mass shift to horizontal position. Okay? Take this is the first problem. Second problem. Suppose there are three particles which are moving towards each other. They are vertices of an equilateral triangle A, B, C. Okay? A moves towards B with a speed V1. B moves towards C with a speed V2. C moves towards A with a speed V3. So, three particles moves with velocities V1, V2, V3 towards each other. Three particles are moves with velocities V1, V2, V3. A moves towards B, B moves towards C, C moves towards A with velocities V1, V2, V3. Okay? Then, due to mutual forces of attraction, how velocity of center of mass changes. Okay, the question is, three particles of equal masses are placed at the corners of equilateral triangle, equal masses as shown in the figure. So mass of this is M, it is M, it is also M, equal masses as shown in the figure. Now the particle A starts with velocity V1 towards the line AB. The particle B starts with velocity V2 towards C along the line BC, and the particle C starts with velocity V3 towards the line CA. The displacement of center of mass of the three particles ABC after t seconds. Displacement of center of mass of three particles after t seconds. That is the question. Okay? Question mark. So the first one is 0. Second option is V1 plus V2 plus V3 by 3, and C V1 plus V2 plus V3 by 4, and D V1, I will write option here, V1 plus root 3 by 2, V2 plus V3 by 2 by 3. So these are the options you have. What is the answer? So the displacement of center of mass of the three particles after t seconds is 0, because initially the center of mass is at its center, equal masses at its geometric center. Now they are moving towards each other due to internal forces. There is no external forces acting on the system. These three particles, particle A moves towards B, B moves towards C, C moves towards A. In this system, you consider these three particles as a system of particles. There is no external force acting on the system. All the three particles are moves with uniform speed. Okay? Then the velocity of center of mass is 0. Okay? Because the masses, these three vectors are represented by the three sides of a triangle taken in order. Then the resultant of this center of mass is 0. Okay? So the velocity of center of mass is 0. m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus m3 v3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3, velocity of center of mass. Here these are the velocities, these are the vector quantities. We can represent it by the three sides of a triangle taken in order. Then they are moving with different speeds, of course, sorry. So there is no external forces acts on the system. So the velocity of center of mass is 0 only. Okay? So they are moving towards each other due to mutual forces of attraction. So the velocity of center of mass is 0. Initially they are at rest, because the particle starts from rest and they are moving towards B with velocity v1. So, and B starts with velocity v2. So C starts with velocity v3. So before they start, the center of mass is at rest. So they are moving towards each other due to mutual forces of attraction between them. Hence the velocity of center of mass will be at rest only. Okay? Initially center of mass is at rest because three particles are initially at rest. Then they are moving towards each other due to mutual forces of attraction, and hence the velocity of center of mass is also 0. Okay? This is the second problem. Third problem. Two blocks of equal masses. Next problem. Two blocks of equal masses. Equal mass M are released from top. Or released from top. Top of a smooth fixed surface. Top of a smooth fixed wedge as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. Okay? Find the magnitude of acceleration of center of mass of the two blocks in meter second inverse. Find the magnitude of acceleration of center of mass. Acceleration of COM. Take G is equal to 10. So there is a block like this wedge. So this is 30 degrees, this is 60 degrees. Okay? This is a wedge. This is a fixed wedge. Fixed wedge. So two blocks, they are released of equal masses. Let it be M and M. are released from top of the wedge or released. This is a smooth wedge. Okay. Find the acceleration of center of mass. Find the magnitude of acceleration of center of mass. Okay. So how we can solve this problem? So two blocks of equal masses. So solution: m1 is equal to m, m2 is equal to m. Okay, they are released. So starting velocity, initial velocity is 0. Okay, and so they accelerates down. So what is its acceleration? So acceleration is equal to g sine theta. Since the plane is smooth, so its acceleration is g sine theta. So this is from friction, smooth surface. Acceleration is g sine theta. Then acceleration is g sine theta. So we want acceleration of the center of mass. A1 is equal to g sine theta 1. Okay, g sine theta 1. So what is the g sine theta 1? G sine theta 1 is 60 degrees. So that is sine 60 is root 3 by 2 g. Okay. So that is A1. What is A2? So g sine theta 2. Okay. So what is g into sine theta 2? Sine. So here theta is 30 degrees. So sine 30 is half. That is g by 2. Okay. So we want acceleration of center of mass. So acceleration of center of mass is given by the formula ACOM. ACM is equal to acceleration of center of mass m1 a1 bar plus m2 a2 bar by m1 plus m2. Okay. So we have this formula for acceleration of center of mass. Since these are the vector quantities, you have to add these two. So you have to check with the angle between them also. So theta is, if this is in this triangle, if this is 60, this is 30, then this will become 90. Because the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180. Okay? So that is, now you substitute these values, but you have to add vectorially. So this is, since these two are in perpendiculars, A1, A2, masses are equal. So you take it as common m, A1 bar plus A2 bar by, this is 2m. So m and get cancelled. So that is A1 bar plus A2 bar by 2. Okay? That is acceleration of center of mass. Since A1, A2 are perpendicular, the resultant acceleration of center of mass is ACM is equal to, since these two are perpendicular, from parallelogram law we have A1 square plus A2 square, because this is a vector addition. So angle between them is 90. So there is A1 square plus A2 square by 2. So that is, what is A1 square? A1 is root 3 by 2 whole square g by 2. You take it as g as common. So I will take care of the g square becomes g, and 2 square under root 2 square is 2. I will take 2. Okay. 2 is also common. 2 square 4. You will take it as 2 square outside. You will get 2. Root 3 square. So that is under root 3 square is becomes 3 plus 1. So you will get 4 by 2. So this is acceleration of center of mass. Okay, ACM is equal to root 4 is 2, this 2 get cancelled. G you take it as 10, 10 by 2 is 5. So that is acceleration of center of mass. Clear? Acceleration of center of mass. We take this example. Okay, next example. Similar example, I will explain. So here there is a pulley which is connected by two masses, M1 and M2. So there is a pulley. Pulley is connected here. So this is a pulley. The string is passed over the pulley and it is connected by another mass. Okay. So this is the string connected these two blocks A and B. Okay. This is a pulley and this is a fixed edge. Fixed edge. Okay. Let it be 60 degrees. Let it be 30 degrees. Okay. But here these are not two free masses. These two are connected by strings. Now, two blocks of equal masses are tied to the right string with the masses or pulley as shown in the figure. Find the acceleration of the center of mass. So find acceleration of center of mass. Acceleration of center of mass in this case. So here is also masses are equal, but they are connected with the help of a string. Okay. So this is the problem. Okay. So how do you touch? So you first find the resultant acceleration. So this one force is here it is mg sine 60. This much force acts in this direction. In this direction, mg sine 30 is acts in this direction. So the resultant force on this system, this force sine 60 is greater than sine 30. So this force is greater than this. So the block ultimately moves down. So this block will move down with an acceleration a. This block moves up with an acceleration a. So these two will have connected bodies. They have a common acceleration. Let it be a. So I want that common acceleration. So the two blocks solution. Two blocks when released from rest, they have common acceleration. They have common acceleration. That is A1 is equal to A2 is equal to, let it be A. Say. Okay. So what is that common acceleration? A is equal to net pulling force by net mass. Net pulling force by net mass. Okay. So by using from laws of motion, I will get this one. Net pulling force is mg sine 60 minus mg sine 30. So you take it as mg common, sine 60 minus sine 30. That is net pulling force divided by net mass is 2m. Okay. So mm get cancelled. G by 2. So this is the G by 2 into sine 60 root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2, because sine 30 is half, sine 60 is root 3 by 2. I take it as 2 common. Okay, root 3 minus 1 by 2. So this is the acceleration of the each block. But this one moves in this direction, this one moves up. So it will move up. So A1 is in this direction, A2 is in this direction. So angle between them is 90. Okay. So masses are equal. So again we have acceleration of center of mass. So acceleration of center of mass is, again we have the formula m1 a1 plus m2 a2 by m1 plus m2. Okay. Since the masses are equal, we have a1 bar plus a2 bar by 2. So since a1 is equal to a2, since a1 is equal to a2, the resultant is root 2a. So square root of a1 square plus a2 square. Okay? By 2. Since a1 is equal to a2, we have root 2a divided by 2. So that is a by root 2. Okay. So that is acceleration of center of mass. So the acceleration of center of mass is g by 2. So A is g by 2 into root 3 minus 1, root 3 minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, divided by 2. This is a by root 2. So by root 2. By root 2. So we have this one. So ACM is equal to a by 2 and root 3 minus 1 2 root 2. So this is g by 4, this is g by 4 and g by 4 root 2 into root 3 minus 1. So this is the answer. Okay. So that is the acceleration of center of mass. Root 3 minus 1 by 4 root 2 1 of g. Okay. So this is the acceleration of center of mass. You take next example. Okay. You take next example, next problem. A balloon of mass m next problem. A balloon of mass m capital M is stationary in air. Stationary in air. It has ladder. It has ladder on which man of mass m. On which man of mass m, small m, is standing. Is standing. If the man starts up, if man starts up the ladder, with the velocity v relative to ladder, okay, the velocity of the balloon is velocity of the balloon is first option small m by capital M V. Second option small m v by small m plus capital M downwards. 3. mv by capital M plus small m upwards. mv by small m plus capital M or downwards. So these are the options you have. So what is the right answer? So a balloon of mass m is stationary in A. Let it be assumed a balloon. So this is a balloon floating in A. So the balloon is provided with a ladder. So here is a ladder like this. What is this? Ladder which is connected to balloon. This balloon is stationary, that is floating in air. Okay. So let it be a hydrogen balloon. Hydrogen balloon, a balloon filled with the hydrogen floats in air. So there will be a force upthrust acting on the balloon. Because of upthrust, that balloon rises up. And if some load is attached to it, it will be when the force of buoyancy, that is upthrust, balances with this ladder weight, it will be remains in stationary. So this is floating in air, this balloon. A ladder is connected to this balloon. Now a man of mass m. So a person standing on the ladder. Okay. So a person standing on the ladder. A person stationary. Mass of the person is m. The man stands on the ladder with velocity. Man starts moving up with velocity v. So when the person starts moving up with the ladder v, this ladder and the balloon system moves down to conserve momentum because there is no external forces here. So as the man moves with velocity v, rises up, this balloon and this a balloon of mass m. Total mass of the balloon is m. That means it includes the ladder. Let it be. Okay? Total mass is including mass of the ladder, including balloon. Let it be capital M. So mass of the man is m. So there is no external force here. As the system moves, the person on the system, that is on the ladder, the person moves up the ladder, system will comes down because the center of mass will be remains at rest. Because there is no external forces, the center of mass of this man and the balloon system, ladder system, will remain at a place. It won't change. But as the man moves upwards, the balloon and this ladder system moves downwards to conserve linear momentum. Okay? So, how much, as you explained, a person walking on the ladder. So, displacement, we want velocity, sorry. So we want velocity, not the displacement. So velocity solution. So velocity of the balloon. What we want? Velocity of the balloon with respect to ground. With respect to ground frame, that is inertial frame, is V dash is equal to, as I explained earlier, m mass of the person into velocity of the person relative to balloon by this is total mass, capital M plus small m, as I explained earlier. Okay? Earlier we got this expression. I explained that in case of a man walking like this. Suppose a plank, I give one example. What is that example? A person on the plank. The plank, mass of the person is m, mass of the plank is m. This plank is placed on a floor. This plank is placed on a frictionless floor. As the man moves in this direction, this plank moves backwards to conserve linear momentum. Okay? If the person moves a distance L with respect to plank, then the Displacement of this plank is L dash is equal to ml by small m plus capital M, as I explained earlier. So in that example, the same principle we can apply it here because there is no external forces here. So velocity of the balloon with respect to ground v dash is equal to, we have m, v r, relative velocity. This is ladder velocity relative to the ladder. So that is velocity of the man with respect to ladder. So here Vr is, that is velocity of the man with respect to ladder, with respect to the ladder. It is given as, that is Vr, it is given as V. Okay. Mass of the man is m. M is mass of the man. Okay. Capital M is mass of the ladder. Mass of the ladder balloon system. Mass of the balloon plus ladder. Okay. So this is the answer. So the answer is V dash is equal to, we have mvr is, instead of V we can write mv by capital M plus small m. So as the man climbs up this ladder balloon system moves downwards with velocity mv by capital M plus small m. This is the answer. Okay. Next one. A shell is projected. A shell is projected from a level ground with velocity u at an angle theta. With the horizontal. Okay. With the horizontal. When the shell is at the highest point, when the shell is highest point, at the highest point, it explodes into two fragments. It explodes into two equal fragments. One of the fragments retraces its path. Retraces the point of projection. At what distance from the point of projection? At what distance from the point of projection? Does the other fragment fall? So that is the question. Okay. So A is 2u square sin 2 theta by g. B u 2 theta by g, c mu square sin 2 theta by g by 2g d 2u square sin 2 theta by 3g. So this is the problem. Okay, how we can solve this one? A shell is projected from a level ground with the velocity u. So let it be a shell is projected from a level ground with initial velocity u, making an angle theta with the horizontal. At the highest point, that is maximum height, it splits up into two equal fragments. So this shell splits up into two fragments. One of the fragment equal masses, equal fragments. So if m is mass of the shell, this we can take it as, this is, I take it as 2m, then this will becomes m. Okay, one of the fragments retraces the point of projection. So retraces means it has a velocity, retraces the point of projection. Let it be here. So I assume that this is the point of projection. O is the point of projection. Point of projection where shell is spiral. Okay. So under one of the fragments, let it be m, will retraces its path and it will reach us to the point of projection. The second fragments where it will pass. So the retraces the point of projection. At what distance from the point of projection does the other fragment fall? Okay. So you apply momentum principle. So the step number 1, solution. Since explosion takes place at its maximum height, explosion it won't change the position of the center of mass. Okay. So initial center of mass will be, the center of mass will take the path and its range will be r only. Okay. So that range r is equal to u square sin 2 theta by g. So explosion is an internal process. It won't change the position of center of mass. Here the explosion takes place, here momentum is conserved since there is no external forces. So I will use this one. At what distance from the point of projection does the other fragment will fall? So I want this. Okay. Solution. So solution. So let I will write here. Let R be the range of center of mass. Okay. Explosion does not change the motion of center of mass. Motion of center of mass. It is an internal process. Okay. Explosion does not change the motion of center of mass. Let R be the range of the center of mass. What is the range of center of mass? Given by r is equal to u square sin 2 theta by g. If u is the angle of initial velocity of projection, theta is the angle of projection, then range of the projectile is given by u square sin 2 theta by g. The explosion does not change the motion of the center of mass. So here momentum is conserved. Here momentum from linear momentum. So since momentum is conserved from LCLM, what is LCLM? Law of conservation of linear momentum. What it says that total momentum before explosion is equal to total momentum after explosion. So from LCLM, total momentum before explosion is equal to total momentum after explosion. Total momentum after explosion. Okay. So this is total momentum. This is the momentum principle. So total momentum before explosion is, here the velocity of projection, let mass is 2m. This mass of this projectile, let it be 2m. It has velocity at the highest point u cos theta, isn't it? So initial momentum is, total mass is 2m into velocity is u cos theta. Before explosion, it has velocity u cos theta at its maximum height. And the mass, let it be 2m. The shell, I assumed that mass of the shell, let it be 2m. It is not given, I assumed it is 2m. So total momentum after explosion, it splits up into two fragments. Two fragments, equal fragments. That means mass of each piece, let it be m. So momentum of the first piece is m, and its velocity is, it retraces. So since it reaches the same point, it has velocity u cos theta. So but it is in opposite direction. So hence it is minus mv. Okay, so this is m1 v1 plus m2. Second piece is having the mass m, and its velocity we don't know, let it be v dash. So what is v dash? Velocity of the second piece at its highest point. So you simplify this, what you will get, m get cancelled. So v dash is equal to what you will get, 2u cos theta minus u cos theta, bring this will get 3u cos theta. Okay, what is v dash? Velocity of second fragment after explosion. Okay, so this is after explosion. Okay, velocity of the second fragment after explosion, I take it as v dash. I got it as 3u cos theta. Okay, now where it will pass? So I want it's a horizontal distance where it will pass. So the first piece, it has velocity u cos theta. Second one is having the 3u cos theta. So where it will pass from the point of projection. So how it will travels? It will travels like this, and where it will pass. So it has velocity after splitting. It has velocity 3u cos theta. So this piece having the mass m, having the velocity 3u cos theta after explosion. Okay, this is split m. This is 2m. Having the before splitting, it has 2m. This is the second piece. This is the first piece. First piece falls like this. It has mass m. Its mass is 2m. So its mass is 2m. It splits up into two fragments. First fragment is having the mass m, has velocity u cos theta. It will pass like this. Second piece is having the mass m. It has a velocity 3u cos theta after explosion. So it will pass like this. Okay, where it will pass? So we want from the point of projection. Okay, so we want this distance. How do you calculate this? So okay, so it is. So from here, So how do you calculate this? So range, or we know the horizontal velocity. Horizontal velocity, same height. So time of flights are same because the height is same. Time of flights will be the remain same. So you apply momentum principle, center of mass. So you find this center of mass position. So I take this one is the origin. So I applied initial center of mass is R. Initial center of mass as before explosion. So after explosion, I will write I am apply center of mass. XCM is equal to, I will write m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. Explosion does not change the motion of center of mass. So the range of center of mass is given by. So range it won't change. So XCM is here. XCM it won't change. The range of center of mass is R here only. From here to here, range is R as before explosion. Before explosion, if it does not explode, the range will becomes R only. Okay, that is given by u square sine 2 theta by g. So XCM is equal to R only. Because of explosion does not change the center of mass because it is an internal process. Okay, here XCM is R, M1 is M, M1 is M, X1 is where it will falls here only. So I take this point of projection is origin, X1, I take this one is origin, XCM is equal to R, this is XCM. XCM, center of mass of the shell is R, under M2. M2 is under M2. M2 is M only, and X2. X2 is we want, question mark. Okay, you substitute these values here. So substitute, we get. So what we get? XCM is R, M1 is M, X1 is 0 plus M2. M2 is M, X2 I want by M1 plus M2. That is total mass 2M. So you will get this one is 0. This you will get X2. X2 I got it as this is 2RM, 2M R by M. M get cancelled. So X2 will get X2 you will get MM get cancelled, MM get cancelled, you will get X2 is equal to 2R. So where it will falls, the range will become 2R from here. So it is already from the point of projection it is 2R. So range is u square sine 2 theta by g into 2. So answer is, this is the answer, 2R, where R is u square sine 2 theta by g. Okay, so you will get the 2 u square sine 2 theta by g. Okay, clear this? Of course, here velocity of the this piece, second piece, it is 3u cos theta. It is not required here, I think. This one is not necessary. We can write directly this one. Okay, so this is the answer. This is the procedure to solve the problems. Okay. Suppose if the velocity of the second piece in the question do you want, then this is the answer. Okay. Suppose the question is velocity of the second fragment after explosion you want, then this is the answer. Okay. Take this. two particles next to carbon. Two particles of masses 10 kg and 20 kg are lying on a straight line, or lying on a straight line. Straight line. If the 10 kg mass is shifted to 10 kg mass, shifted to towards 30 kg mass, 30 kg mass by a distance of 2 centimeters. Kg mass by a distance of 2 centimeters. By what distance? What distance should 30 kg mass? Should 30 kg mass be shifted? Be shifted so that their center of mass does not change. So that their COM does not change. Does not change. So first option, 2 by 3 centimeters towards 10 kg. B, 2 by 3 centimeters away from 10 kg. From 10 kg. C, 3 by 2 centimeters towards 10 kg. D, 3 by 2 centimeters. 3 by 2 centimeters away from 10 kg mass. Okay, you try to solve this one. Okay. I think this is the first option. Okay, you solve this one. Okay, as I explained in the theory, you try to solve this one. Okay, so I will stop this. I will stop today. So I will complete this center of mass. Okay, you do some more problems.